What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the podcast episode, and today I have a very special guest with me. He is a content creator. You guys may have seen his TikToks. He has almost 100,000 followers on TikTok. He has like 1.5 million likes. He is a business owner / entrepreneur, ex-news reporter, and we actually met randomly at a random Riser networking event a couple months back. So welcoming my boy Kyle.
What's going on, everybody? So excited to be here. I'm just really pumped, man. This podcast style, I'm really excited. I love coming on to different podcast mediums and just chatting, man. I'm so excited to chat.
Yeah, thanks for coming. So just to start off, I know I gave you a little quick intro there, but I want you to take like 1-2 minutes and just give your background, who you are, and how you kind of got to this point today for us having this conversation.
Yeah, for sure. So I'll give my quick 30-second elevator pitch here.
Yeah.
So my name's Kyle Cardoza. I graduated college in May of 2019. Upon graduation, I went to go and work as a news reporter, news anchor for CBS Boston. Did some entertainment reporting work for Forbes for their under 30 events. Upon kind of seeing what was happening with the online landscape, a lot of my generation wasn't watching news, decided to completely switch my career, went into digital marketing. So, things like Google ads, Facebook ads, Instagram ads, things of that nature. Had a book of business of around 80 plus clients, really helping them drive website sales, conversions, awareness on over to their website. COVID hit, got laid off from that job, was really sad. But TikTok came about. I had a lot of free time on my hands and started making content on TikTok, started to grow a following pretty fast, documented my entire journey on LinkedIn. Through that, got a lot of opportunities. A company from Miami asked me, hey, we love your TikTok. We love your social media presence. Would you mind moving on down to Miami to work for us? They relocated me, went down to Miami, started making more content, collaborating with other creators, built my own agency from a lot of my TikTok followers. So took some of my followers, taught them how to do Google ads, Facebook ads, Instagram ads, how to grow TikToks, how to grow Instagram followings, Facebook followings, things of that nature. And now, I guess you could say 2, 3, 4 years later, here we are in Austin, Texas.
Wow. Yeah, that's a lot. And you've worn so many different hats.
Yeah.
Do you miss being a news anchor?
Oh, 100%, man. There's nothing better than just going into a studio, going on scene, and just literally reading off of a script. Because it's great when you're doing social media content, but for the most part, you have to create what you're going to say, how you're going to cut it, how you're going to edit it. When you're a news reporter, you just go on scene, you talk, and then there's a whole team of editors. Someone writes your script, so it's very, it's a little bit more uniform in terms of being a news anchor.
Yeah, that's really interesting. So so you started off making with a social media marketing agency, right?
Yeah.
Why that? Like what drew you to entrepreneurship, business ownership? Why not just, start creating content or start doing literally anything else or just get a regular job rather than, social media marketing?
Yeah, I mean, man, when I was a kid, all I wanted to do was speak for a living. I wanted to be an actor. That was my first ever dream that I can remember.
Really?
My parents really encouraged me to do whatever I wanted to do. I remember being 12, 11 years old. I went to an audition out in Boston, Massachusetts, where I'm born and raised from, to audition for iCarly. And there were maybe 600 to 700 kids there. It was in a big Hilton ballroom area. So there were a lot of kids there. It was a really long line. We only got to maybe audition for like 2 minutes, and we had to come up with an audition on the spot. So I did mine on Reese's Pieces, and they liked me, so they took me to the back, talked to my mom, talked to my dad, and I got to meet Esteban from The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody. He was going to be like an acting coach for that program. And I was like, wow, I'm so excited to do this, but my parents were like, we don't want to pay money for this, you know, so I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm not going to be an actor. And then my dream transformed into I want to be a company spokesperson. So, started to, go to more kind of marketing events, company spokespersonship-esque events, networking with individuals on LinkedIn. And this is all while I'm in college. So I'm 18, 19, 20 years old doing this. Wow. And then one day I moved into a university, and that first day something had happened on campus, and I got interviewed by the news. After my interview, the news reporter was like, you have a great voice, you're really good at speaking, you should be a news reporter, news anchor. I was like, oh, I never thought about that as I've always wanted to talk for a living, but I never thought about specifically that realm.
Yeah.
And then from there, I was like, okay, you know what? Let me take this serious. So started to, do news reporting. I got my first internship at a school called Bridgewater State doing the local news there. Then, I was a huge networker, so I would sneak into other universities' internship fairs. And from doing that, I met a news reporter from CBS Boston. She had just moved from Texas that day that I met her.
Wow.
And she was just so impressed with me. I asked her, hey, can I take you out to lunch to learn from you? And that's a really good tip, taking out whoever you're trying to network with to lunch. It's a really good tip to kind of like form that relationship.
I'll steal that.
Yeah, no, 100%.
I'm gonna steal that, yeah.
And then, from there, took her to lunch. We got to know each other. She's like, I really like you. Let me introduce you to my news director. And then that's really where my news reporter kind of career started.
Wow. So from what I hear, and it's funny because we met at a networking event as well.
Yeah.
But what was it that kind of gave you the drive to just network? Like, what did your parents teach you that networking was king, or like what was it that drove you to just network?
Yeah. So to be full transparency here, when I was in college, I went out a lot. So, I partied a lot, a decent amount. And through doing that, I met so many people. And I understood the power of networking because I could meet one person at one party. And then at another party, maybe I wouldn't be able to get in, but specifically because I met someone that's friends with that person, I was able to get in. So that really, I know that's a silly way to kind of showcase networking, but that really cemented in my head, like, oh, well, if I can network here, well, I can probably network at professional things too. So I started to do that, literally just going to any fair, whether it was in an industry that I wanted to be in or just something that was related, literally starting to network, shake hands. Hey, let me take you out to lunch. Hey, do you have time for a quick 15-minute coffee chat? And literally proposing to these people, and I'm a broke college kid, but proposing to these people, hey, I'll take you out to lunch for 15 minutes of your time just to learn from you.
Yeah.
And that took me a long way in terms of like kind of laying the foundation for my career.
So having spoken to that many people and kind of emphasizing networking as like something that you wanted to do, like as one of your tactics, what are some of the best pieces of advice that you've, accumulated from that?
Yeah. I mean, man, whatever profession you want to do, whatever career path you want to go down, there is someone who has already done it. And we hear that saying all the time, but it's extremely true. One thing that I had done was I went on LinkedIn, which obviously is an amazing tool for networking, and I looked at all of the news anchors, news reporters, entertainment reporters that went to my school that had graduated, whether it was 5 years ago or 30 years ago or 40 years ago, it didn't matter. And I started to reach out to those individuals and start to talk to them, start to network. From there, hey, well, I have a connection over at E! News. I have a connection over at Entertainment Tonight. I have a connection actually at ABC News down in Boston. And from there, I was able to get more connected with individuals that I wouldn't have met otherwise. So really, it was just looking at where I was, looking at what my goals were, and trying my best using social media and the internet, as well as in-person networking events, to just grow my network and expand my opportunities from there.
So I want to go back a little bit. Talk to me about how you started creating content back on YouTube. Because, like I was just telling you before we started, you've been making content since like 10 years ago, right? Like why YouTube? Why did you want to start creating content? Why even start on that journey? Because I remember maybe 10 years ago, I wanted to be a YouTuber. I was like, oh, that'd be sick. I should start my own thing. But I never actually had the gumption and to like see it all the way through. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why did you want to get into it, and why did you actually do it?
Yeah. So if I recall, I believe my first video on YouTube, I was 12 years old. I believe I was in 7th grade, and it was me playing World of Warcraft. So I was a huge gamer, and I used to watch a lot of Let's Plays on YouTube. I used to watch a lot of family vlogs, so like a lot of these families, CTFXC, Shake Carl, Prank vs. Prank. There were a lot of YouTube channels that were doing daily vlogs. Yeah. So they would literally just film
that was the thing
every
back
single
then.
day. That was a huge
That was
thing.
the thing.
Huge
Jake
thing.
Paul, Logan Paul used to do all that. That was a whole thing back then. Yeah.
It's crazy because that literally made their career. But as a kid, I was watching every day. day in, day out. I never missed a day for years.
Yeah.
And just seeing that and seeing how these people had started, it gave me the inspiration, like, okay, well, let me start making YouTube. And maybe it wasn't going to be daily vlogs, but could I start filming myself play video games? Could I start making little edits of video games that I like? So that was kind of the first pieces of content that I made. And then as I started to, grow up, develop, and start to kind of realize, okay, what career path do I want to do? I know I want to talk for a living. Well, how can I do that? I saw YouTube as the medium to at least get my start there. I didn't have a dream or a goal of, I want to be a YouTuber or I want to be in social media.
You just wanted to talk.
I just wanted to talk. Yeah, exactly. Whether I had nobody watching my videos or a couple people watching my videos, it didn't matter because I just fell in love with being able to, I can put this out on the internet, then people will actually watch this. Whether it's me playing video games or me, in school or just daily life, things of that nature. Just seeing that possibility and seeing other individuals do it that I was watching every day really just kind of inspired me that this could actually be a career path.
Wow. I mean, that's inspiring, actually, because not everybody has a dream that they've had since they were a kid and they get to like actually realize it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So my dream growing up, I wanted to be a professional soccer player, right? Because I played soccer from the time I was like 3 years old until I still play today.
Yeah.
Right. So like my goal always was like I'm going to be a professional soccer player, get rich, and do all that. Right?
There we go.
And I did realize the goal for a little bit, the dream for a little bit, but at the same time, I was also really into entrepreneurship. So like I had these still diametrically opposed things that I was going after. So I did soccer already, and now I'm kind of going after the entrepreneurship thing.
Exactly.
But I love that you've always been. No, I just want to talk. I just want to talk. I'm an interesting guy. I have cool shit to say.
Yep.
I just want to talk. I want people to listen to what I have to say.
That's it. And I feel like a little bit of that stemmed from me wanting to be an actor. I won't lie. When I was a kid, I wanted to be like, I want to be on Disney and I want to be famous. And, I would see iCarly and, Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. And I was like, I wonder what it's like to live that lifestyle, even though they were literally kids as well. But I just wanted to be in the limelight, specifically when I was younger. As I started to grow up, I was like, I don't really care about the limelight as much. I just want to talk for a living, whatever that is. Whether that would have been a sports announcer, a news reporter, a company spokesman, anything. So I just wanted to talk, and use my voice for to make a living, really.
So do you still want to act? Is that still kind of a thing, like a thing that you want to do?
Yeah. So this year, one of my big goals is voiceover. So that's where I want to break into.
Work.
Yeah. Thank you so
much.
I want to break into that industry. I would love to, voice video game characters or cartoon characters or commercials, things of that nature.
So I'm actually, I kind of have a connection with a guy who is he kind of teaches people how to break into the voiceover world. His name is the Voiceover Beard. I'm not sure if you ever heard of it. Yeah, because it's literally just he records his videos from here down, so you just see his nose and then his beard, and he has like a crazy voice.
Oh,
so like
that's so
his
cool.
brand is like the Voiceover Beard, and I took his course for he has a bunch of different courses.
Yeah.
But he has one for like on-screen authority, which is basically like making sure that your videos are much better like set up and like lighting and everything like that, right?
Gotcha.
So I took his course for that, but I also realized that he has another course on voiceover artist, so I can make that connection.
Cool. Yeah, please, man, because that's a huge goal of mine this year. And with just being able to, I accomplished the news reporter goal, I accomplished the TikTok social media goal. Now kind of voiceover is the next thing that I really want to break into.
So, why?
It's just furthering down my path of talking for a living. Being able to. So when I was the news reporter, literally getting paid to just go into the studio, talk on camera, go on scene, talk on camera. And with being a news reporter, you can't show your personality 100%. It's relatively strict in that industry. Entertainment reporter, it's a little bit easier for sure. In the news industry, it's called a feature reporter, not entertainment reporter. But it's a little bit easier to showcase your personality there. When I started making TikTok videos, my goal was I really didn't even want to be a creator. I was just again in love with just talking on camera, and then seeing really what got me with TikTok was seeing all of the comments and likes and shares and individuals asking me to make more videos on this topic or that topic, etc. So that really inspired me, and literally every single day I was making content. At my peak, I was doing 7 to 8 videos every day. And from 7:30 to midnight, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, going live for about 2.5 years straight. I didn't take a week off, not 1 week off. Not even because I was like, oh, I'm just grinding this, or I really want to be a TikTok. I just loved it. It was just the hustle, the passion of the game.
And that started during COVID?
Started May 8th, 2020.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That's the best time to start.
Yeah.
That would have been the best time to start.
100%.
The world shut down. There's nothing else going on. Everybody's going to be on their phones watching content.
Yep. 100%.
Might as well make content.
Might as well.
Yeah.
Might as well.
Yeah.
So it's crazy, man. And, I accomplished that. I hit, at my peak, I was at 105,800 followers, hit that goal. And then I completely paused my TikTok for about 2.5 years. So I didn't put one piece of content out. And then I focused on building my agency.
So why'd you make that pivot?
From TikTok
From
to
TikTok
the agency?
to the agency, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so it was, at the time my goal was my goal wasn't even to hit 100K, right? My goal was I want to speak for a living, I want to make content, but when I hit that 100K, I was like, oh, I did it. I hit 100,000. I feel like that was a really big, I beat the game. I feel like that's a big milestone. And from there, I was like, okay, well, what else can I do with TikTok? At the time, I was getting a lot of, invites. Hey, would you mind being our TikTok person, our social media marketer, our digital marketer, things of that nature? And I'm one person, right?
Yeah.
So I can't do all of these different jobs. So I started to think, okay, how can I take these opportunities that I'm getting from LinkedIn, from email, etc., and bring them into a way that I can still get paid doing it. And that's when I thought, okay, what if I built an agency? Then who am I going to hire for my agency? Then I realized, I have 105,000 followers on TikTok. So I started making content. Hey, would you like to learn from me to do social media and Instagram and da-da-da-da-da? And I got a lot of my followers that were like, oh, I'd love to learn. So I employed high school kids, college kids, taught them exactly how to SEO, email marketing, digital, Google ads, all these different skill sets, hired them into my agency, got clients, and then, dispersed them through those high school kids, college kids, not all of them, and built the agency through that. And within 2.5, 3 years, that agency, we were able to scale to about $150,000 in revenue, which I was really, really excited about, and just kind of continue on. And really for me, the big thing for me was being able to give back to the younger generation, because it was really hard for me to get to where I was and where I am today, especially news reporting, social media, because these things, when I was applying for jobs or internships, it was hard. I had to network my way in. For when I was working at CBS Boston, when I had first gotten that internship, they required, I think it was like a 3.2 GPA, and I graduated school with a 2.4. So that just goes to show you that networking can open doors that were otherwise closed.
Yeah. So real quick, what did you study in college?
Strategic communications with a focus in public relations and social media.
Okay, that makes sense. You're definitely using that.
Yeah,
you're definitely
100%.
using that. Yeah. And so I want to go into your agency and how you built it and the strategies you were employing. But before that, you've mentioned a few times LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And you were documenting your whole journey there. Like, I haven't heard anybody say that before. What's kind of your LinkedIn strategy? What are you doing there?
Yeah.
How are you documenting your entire journey on LinkedIn?
So I started documenting my journey early. Before I even had a career, I was in school documenting my journey.
Okay.
This week I went to this internship fair at Boston University, and I met this person. I learned these 3 things. This week at the American Marketing Association Club, we had this speaker come in from this company, and they told us X, Y, and Z. This is what I learned, etc. So I was documenting literally everything that I was doing, whether it was, I just became the vice president of the marketing club. Here's what I learned about, the election process, or being able to become the vice president, etc. Or, hey, we went on a field trip for our public relations class to the Prudential Center to meet this marketing agency, and I learned these 3 things. Or I met this CEO and he told me this. Literally every single day I was posting whatever I was learning in class, whatever I was learning in my organizations, people that I was meeting through networking, and just in general. So I was literally sharing with the world exactly what I was learning in my courses, what I was learning in terms of like out in networking events. And really, I just used that to my advantage because there were no other kids. And I tell this, I talk to a lot of college kids today, and I tell them there are literally no other kids in college that are doing that. No
Literally
kids.
none
At all. And that's a gold mine of an opportunity because when it comes time to get that job, that first job interviews, when they go to look at your LinkedIn versus they go to look at the other kid's LinkedIn, that other kid could have a 4.0 GPA, top of his class, yada, yada, and you could have a 2.4. And have these extracurricular activities of, you're the vice president of the marketing club, you're in the public relations club, you have internships here, internships there, but you have a 2.4. But because of the fact that we see your LinkedIn and we see you documenting your process, and it looks like you're so in love with the industry, with the field, you have all these extracurricular activities, we're taking you over that kid. So I've always said that it doesn't matter, and of course, depending on what you want to do, if you're a doctor, lawyer, do well in school, for sure. But, if you have dreams of, for me, at the time, it was news reporter. If you have dreams for that, it's not necessarily that your grades are going to get you in there. It's really who you know and what you know, really. But more of an emphasis on who you know.
How did you learn that? Like, who gave you the initial idea to, document everything that you do on LinkedIn? Like, I have never gotten that advice.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering where that came from.
I just loved social media, man.
So it was all you. You kind of
just all me. I just loved sharing what I'm doing with the world. I still, to this day, share almost everything that I do with the world online.
That's true.
I just love doing it, and thankfully, at that time, this was 2015, 16, 17, 18, 19. I'm a 6-year senior. So just having that love for posting what I'm doing every single day, especially in professional wise, it worked to my advantage.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. No. Yeah. I just had to digest all of that. That's crazy because I never even thought to do that while I was in college. I was just because I was an athlete as well, so my schedule was pretty busy, but I also did have time to be, today I learned about this in class, or we did this, or I just didn't even cross my mind.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And that's the advantageous edge, for kids, students who do that, and then students who don't do it.
Yeah. Wow. So I want to get into your agency, right? Yeah. Let's get into business. How did you, so you said you started your agency because you kept getting people reaching out to you like, hey, can you help us with this? Can you help us with that? Can you help us with that? So that's the reason you started your agency? You were just like, I have all these leads that need fulfillment.
Yes. Yeah.
Let me just start a business doing that.
100%. It was November 2020 I started my agency. May 8th, 2020 I started TikTok. So from that time period,
wow, 6 months?
Yeah, 6 months. From that time period, from May to November, I was growing rapidly on TikTok. I had just moved to Miami. I moved to Miami August 28th, 2020. And I'll never forget that day because that's the day I'm a huge Black Panther fan. That's the day Chadwick Boseman passed. So I moved. Yeah, R.I.P. I moved to Miami on that day. And like I said, a company had reached out, hey, we'd love to have you move to Miami, this, that, and the third. So I'm working, remotely, but working in social media, going to the office sometimes to film different styles of content. And again, at the same time, just documenting the process on LinkedIn. And now my LinkedIn is supercharged because not only, I just moved to Miami, mind you, it's COVID. Yeah. Not only did I move to Miami, now I'm a TikToker as well. Now I'm getting so many, likes, comments, shares. Now I have so many articles on me. I was on the news in Beijing, China. I had done, I worked with the Biden administration for their child tax credit program.
Wow.
So I was doing content with them. I had done content with the Wolf of Wall Street, helping him film some TikTok videos, things of that nature. So I was starting to get traction in terms of what I was documenting on LinkedIn. And because of that traction, and because TikTok was such a new opportunity, nobody knew how to grow TikTok.
Yeah.
And here was the thing, and I think it still holds true today, is the demand for TikTok content creators versus what was actually available was extremely skewed because most kids that are on TikTok that know how to grow TikTok following during that time period specifically, they didn't have a degree. They weren't out of high school yet, right? So companies were looking for TikTok creators, social media managers that knew how to do it, but there was no social media managers that knew how to do it. So if you had the advantageous edge of you had already graduated from school, you had a degree, you had a TikTok following, this, that, and the third, companies were willing to pay you a lot of money because this was an unknown territory they were going in, and the individuals that knew how to do it weren't qualified to actually work in those roles.
Makes sense.
So that was a massive advantage as well. And really, it was just the stars had aligned in that time period. Me starting TikTok literally right when lockdown happened, moving to Miami, gaining a lot of followers, having all that traction. It was just the stars aligned. And really, it was the action as well. And, you know, I'm a big proponent in law of attraction. That's what all of my content is about. That's how I got my start on my personal page, my first page. You know, and I was a really big believer in, you know, I don't know how I'm going to get this goal done. I don't know how it's going to happen. I just know it's going to happen. And I just started taking action towards it. And then eventually, I like to think of life as a radar screen where we can't see what's off of the radar screen. But when you have that belief and that abundance mindset, things start to come in. It's kind of like you can drive from Las Vegas to Boston in complete darkness with just your headlights, and you don't know what's going to come up in front of you, but you see
it
the headlights.
eventually.
Exactly. You'll see it eventually.
That makes sense.
Yeah, man.
So how do you grow on TikTok?
So this is the easiest way right here. Now, TikTok is, as a platform, TikTok is chaotic. But I promise you, this right here is the easiest. This is the only roadmap you will ever need. Whatever your niche is. It could be wood. It could be hashtag water bottle. It could be hashtag studio. Whatever it is. Hashtag microphone. I don't care. Hashtag watch. Go into your most important hashtag. So let's say hashtag wood. Go into your most important hashtag. Hashtag wood. Sort for the most liked videos of this week or this month. Look at exactly what they're talking about in those videos. What topics are they discussing? How did they film it? What angles are they filming from? How long is the text on the screen on those videos? Where's the text on the screen position? What sounds are they using? What does their caption look like? What hashtags do they have in their caption? Do they have any particular keywords in their caption? Do they have keywords in their caption that's also on the text on the video as well? Are they using voiceover? Are they using green screen? Are they an eccentric personality? Do they have a kind of personality archetype on their profile? Looking at what's successful in your most important hashtag and imitating that on your profile is, number one, the easiest way to go viral on TikTok. Now, what I usually say is, let's say you're in hashtag wood and you film a viral video, you imitate that video to your best ability. That doesn't guarantee that that video is going to go viral. It could be copy for copy, quote for quote, the exact same kind of video, but it doesn't mean it'll go viral. What time was that original video posted, right? There's so many different kind of things that go into TikTok. So what I usually say, and this is a little overkill, depends, is you want to take that viral concept and you want to imitate it 6 times. So if you find one viral video in your most important hashtag and you imitate it, you want to imitate it 6 different times, and one of those 6 will go viral, guaranteed. One of those 6. But if you just imitate it once, it could go viral, it could not go viral, but a guaranteed is at least 6 to 10 times, I would say.
So 6 times in a row?
Yep.
6 times, okay, 6 times in a row. I was going to say maybe 6 times in a row, spread it out amongst it.
Yeah, no, definitely spread it. I mean, don't post it back to back to back, you know? Okay. So like maybe if I film hashtag, I'm actually filming later today. So today I'm talking taxes, accounting, et cetera, entrepreneurship. Yeah. So I'll go into hashtag taxes today, sort for the most liked video of this week, this month. What exactly are they talking about? How are they filming it? What's the topic, et cetera? What angle are they coming from? Sounds, all this stuff. And I'll film that 6 different times. So it's the same topic. Maybe one way, I'm going to film the exact same way they filmed it. The second way, I'm going to film the exact same way they filmed it, but I'm going to change the text. The third way, I'm going to film the exact same way that they filmed it, but I'm going to change the sound. The fourth way, I'm going to film the exact same way they filmed it, but I'll change the caption and the hashtags.
Are you doing all this in the same day?
Same day, yeah. Same day.
Okay.
And you can spread it out too. Usually I've found that trends will stick around for about 2 to 3 weeks, a month if you're lucky. So you can spread it out for sure. It's not like you have to get these trends out like ASAP. But usually I like to like today's Sunday, so it's my filming day. I like to film all in one day and then usually edit that next day or maybe that evening.
Okay, so that leads me into an important point.
Yeah.
What's your weekly schedule like as a content creator?
Schedule. I'll wake up, have my breakfast. I usually don't take any meetings or anything like that before 10:30. So I like to wake up, have breakfast, sit on my balcony, do some affirmations for 5-7 minutes, read a book, whether that book is personal development, self-development, or on my career. Usually I really love to start the day, or maybe it's the Bible or the Quran or I study all religions, the Vedas, etc. But something wholesome. And then I start my day. So depending on if I have meetings on that day, usually most weeks my meetings are, maybe I have like 4 meetings a week, to be honest with you. So I'll look at what's trending on Instagram, what's trending on TikTok, what's trending on YouTube. I'll start to imitate that content, and then sometimes I'll have some content ideas that's not trending that I'll film myself. But usually my days are extremely flexible, to be honest, because one thing about social media is if you film everything in one day, you're kind of set for the week, to be honest. So it's like, content's out, content's scheduled. When you do social media, that's your job, So literally my job is literally just this cell phone. So if I can get all that content done, at that point it's just community management, So it's really, really flexible. And in that way, I'm able to, work at my job, do my agency, go to networking events, hang out with friends, do fun content for myself. A lot of different things.
So you only film on Sundays all day?
Sometimes I'll film like on a Monday or a Tuesday, but usually I try to do it on Sunday, so that way my whole week is done. I don't have to, like, on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I don't have to be like, damn, I gotta get content out, I gotta film this. I only film on Sundays. For the most part.
Wow, you're putting me onto some valuable information here.
Yeah.
So I noticed that you don't post on YouTube as much anymore.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Honestly, man, it's really just I've just been so focused on short form. I have started to post more on YouTube Shorts, but long form YouTube content, long form YouTube content is a little bit of a hassle.
It's not easy. Not easy.
It's not easy, man. Like, sitting down for 5 to 10 minutes, making the content. You really, with long form, you have to sketch out the idea, edit that content. And YouTube is so competitive now in terms of long form that really your edits need to be on point. Your thumbnail needs to be on point. Your YouTube SEO needs to be on point. And really, I've just found a lot more value in the short form content. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm not going to be getting back on YouTube long form, which I really need to do. I was just looking at some competitive content creators. So there's this one product manager, content creator, product marketing creator I follow, and she does, what I do in a day content, what you need to be a successful product marketing manager, how you can prepare in college to become a successful product marketing manager, things of that nature in their long form, like 10, 12 minutes. And I really want to start doing that style of content. So I'll probably be jumping into that soon. But really a lot of my focus right now is on short form.
Okay. So this question's kind of a little bit out of left field.
Yeah.
How was the Kyle Festival?
Oh, it was a blast, man. It was crazy because I was probably the only one interviewing there. So
really? I imagine that's like a content creator's dream.
Same. See, there were content creators, but they weren't interviewing is the thing. Maybe they were making like one-off styles of content or something funny, like the Nelk Boys were there. Kanel Joseph was there. He's a huge YouTube, TikTok content creator. But in terms of like a traditional, because when I do interviews, I do it like I'm a news reporter.
Yeah.
So because that's what I know. So it's kind of very different from maybe how other content creators do their interviews. So I had a huge line of people, wanting to come up. To be honest with you, it was great. I had a fun time, but it was like work. To be honest, I was really hot. I think it was like 101 degrees that day. It was crazy hot. And I'm just standing there, with my camera set up, interviewing. There's a long line of people just waiting to get in front of the camera and talk with me. So I met a lot of Kyles. Girl Kyles, boy Kyles. I met some newborn Kyles, which was pretty cool, like literally babies that were just born. So that was pretty funny. But it was a great time. We didn't beat the mark, unfortunately. I think the mark was 1350 Kyles, and we had 850. So unfortunately, we didn't get the title. Yeah, maybe next year. Maybe next year. Yeah.
Maybe next year. Wow. So as an AI channel, I do have to ask this. What are your thoughts on AI, and where would you like to see it going? And do you use it? Do you use AI?
Yeah, Personally, I think AI is absolutely amazing, to be honest with you. I think it's...
Have you used GPT-4o? Have you
I haven't
talked
used
to it?
GPT-4o. I haven't.
Bro,
I've been wanting to.
I'll teach you after this.
Really? Oh,
Yeah,
bro.
It's sick.
Yeah, okay.
You can talk to it like a person, and it's crazy.
Really?
It's crazy.
Okay. Wow. See, it's so crazy to see how fast things are progressing.
Yeah.
Because ChatGPT, I mean, obviously it didn't just come out, but it just came out. You know, it's crazy to see, like, now GPT-4 is here. What's GPT-5 going to be? GPT-6? Yeah. It's insane, man, but... I think AI is just going to revolutionize all of our industries, irrespective of what you do.
Yeah.
I think AI is going to help us solve problems. It's going to help us make content faster. It's going to help us just streamline our overall processes, regardless of the industry that you're in. I personally use AI currently. And for content creators out there, maybe I'll go on Instagram. Instagram has AI now.
Yeah.
Meta Assist, I believe it's called, or ChatGPT.
It's basically ChatGPT.
Yeah, essentially. Yeah. I'll say, hey, give me 10 different content ideas for content creators that make content in XYZ. And that way, you know, I'll get some new, fresh ideas. But overall, I think AI is really going to help content creators, you know, just kind of up their mark, really.
Yeah. So what AI tools are you currently using? So just ChatGPT, just the Meta Assistant.
Yeah, I use ChatGPT. Actually, I can tell you, I use ChatGPT. I use, I believe, something called DaVinci. I use a lot of AI image generators. On my content.
So like Dolly, all that stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
Midjourney.
like for instance, yes, thank you. So I have a page called Cardoza Comics, where I literally just do MCU, DC, comics, TV shows, etc. On TikTok, you can now do like kind of photo slides. So it'll be like, you know, like, choose your hero and their adventure, right? And it'll be, maybe it's like Zelda and he's in space, or it'll be Winnie the Pooh and he's you know, in a dark kind of castle.
Yeah.
So I'll use AI tools to make content like that. And then really I use AI, you know, hey, like spelling, grammar, check this.
Yeah.
You know, but really it's that image generator, as well as giving me some content ideas.
Okay, that makes sense. So I wanna get back to the reason for your content creation, right? So what is your mission with the content that you create? Like, why do you get up every morning and create content? Other than, I know you want to talk, but is there a deeper mission there? Like, you want to help these people do this or learn this or do, you know what I mean? What's your mission?
Well, my big thing when I was coming up on TikTok, besides, I want to talk for a living, was I wanted to share the mindset of law of attraction. I wanted to share the mindset of whatever you think about in your mind, you can actually achieve. That was like my biggest passion, because I had so many things in my life that I had no way, no idea how things were going to happen. For instance, in college, I've been living on my own since I was 19 years old. So when I was 19, I moved out. In college, I was staying with my girlfriend at the time, and her mom were moving to another house. So her mom was like, "Oh, Kyle, you can't stay here right now." I was like, "Oh man, okay." You know, and I had nowhere to go. I didn't know what I was gonna do. I started looking at different apartments, but at the time, I didn't have a good credit score. I was a college kid. Yeah. You know, it's not like I'm bringing in a lot of money at the time. And I had happened to meet my friend. He was staying at this apartment, but he was going to be moving out. And I met his landlord. Hey, you know, I'd love to live here after he moves out, yada, yada. But, you know, most landlords require first, last security. Yeah. But I had just really liked the apartment. I had in my mind, you know, like, if I could live in that apartment, you know, let me dedicate to myself in my mind that I'll be able to live in this apartment. I don't know how. My credit score is horrible. I don't have the first, last. I don't even have the first in the first place. You know, but I'm sure that this will happen. And at the time, I was on a time crunch. You know, and I remember specifically sitting in, you know, my ex-girlfriend's driveway and just believing like, like this is gonna happen. I'm sure this is gonna happen. Next maybe day or two, maybe 3 days later, I get a text from that landlord. Hey, Kyle, you know, I really liked your character. You're absolutely good to move in. I'm not going to do a credit check or anything. And you don't need first, last, or security. You can just move in. And I was mind blown.
Wow.
And that had really kind of showcased to me, you know, there were other stuff in the past, but that had showcased to me, okay, well, what else can I apply this kind of mindset to? And this is before the news reporter stuff. This is before any TikTok, social media content, any of that. This was in 2017, actually. And that had really just showed me, okay, like, if I can start to apply this mindset to other areas of my life, I'm sure I can bring in a lot of different things. And I have a lot of content on exactly what I've quote unquote manifested. I don't really like using that word. I think it's a little played out, attracted. But really, I just had that passion of getting this information, that knowledge out there, of your thoughts turn into reality. Whatever you hold in your mind consistently and you take action towards, it's going to come eventually, one way or the other. You may not know how it's going to come, but having that belief system that it will come. I tell my followers all the time, in terms of law of attraction, this manifestation mindset, on Christmas Day, did you ever doubt that Santa Claus was going to come? That's the exact same kind of belief system you need to have in your own goals. You don't know how it's going to come. You don't know when it's going to come. You just know it's going to come. Yeah. On Christmas, you knew you were going to get presents. That same knowingness is the exact same knowingness you need to have for any of your goals, irrespective of what it is.
So have you ever asked that landlord, like, why he just kind of took a chance on you?
Nope. No, we had a great relationship, but it was just never. I was just so happy. I was like, oh, awesome, let's go. I never asked like, hey, why? Maybe I was scared that if I asked why, they'd be like, actually, no, like, why did I do that?
I shouldn't have. Yeah.
As a matter of fact, give me that first month, actually. Yeah.
Wow. So is there any type of content that you want to be creating? Anything that you think that you, like any type of content you want to start making in the future, but you're maybe not ready right now or anything like that?
Yeah. So my agency, the Social Engagement Group, I make a lot of like social media content on there, influencer marketing tips and tricks, social media tips and tricks, how to find viral content ideas, how to find trending content, et cetera, et cetera. I want to start making that content, but in long form. Additionally, I had a page before I even started TikTok. It was this is actually my real first TikTok page. It was called Deep Voice Reading, where I would read books, but just in a deep voice, right? It's self-explanatory, I guess. I really want to get back into that, but I guess that kind of goes a little into voiceover. Yeah. So really, I guess I would say is making more long-form specific content on social media marketing, how to grow on Instagram, how to grow on TikTok, making more long-form content on how to get your first internship, how to find organizations on your school campus that can help your career, things of that nature, but more in long form. So really, I want to delve more into the long-form style of content.
Do you currently have a community?
Yes, I do. So I have a Discord.
You have a Facebook group, right?
Yeah. I got a Facebook group. I got a Discord for kind of like my core law of attraction, like day one followers that, we talk, we share kind of tips and tricks, knowledge. Whenever I put a new video out, they're the first to get it. And then, that Facebook group, which I need to start growing, and really kind of heads down on it.
Have you thought of Skool.com?
I've never heard of it.
You've never heard of Skool?
No.
Oh, no. We'll talk about it after this a bit more. But it's, are you familiar with Alex Hormozi?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So he is now a large investor in Skool.com, and it's basically just a platform for communities, basically.
Interesting.
And they gamify communities, basically. So the way that you kind of level up and get more points is by interacting, creating posts, liking people's posts, getting comments, and things like that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Skool.com?
Skool, Skool.com.
Oh, that's a cool name.
Skool.com.
Yeah, okay,
it's
nice.
great. But because I was thinking about it earlier today. I was like, I wonder why Kyle doesn't have a school account and things like that. And there's like funnels you can do to help grow the community and stuff like that. But
Alex Hormozi is investing in it. It must be serious.
So there's this thing also called all the people that create communities. It's called the Skool Games. Mm-hmm. So the people who has the fastest growing communities every month over month. The top 10, they get flown out to go meet Alex Hormozi, hang out, talk about. Yeah.
Wow,
yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Jeez, I'm looking into that today.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
No, it's great. You should definitely sign up and try to grow.
Thanks for saying it, man.
No, of course. I want to give as much game to anybody that will listen to me as possible. Literally anybody.
That's the name of the game.
Yeah. But where can people find you?
So on my TikTok, depends on what you're interested in. My personal TikTok is Cardoza95. You'll find a lot of finance content, fintech content, law of attraction, mindset, career development. Kyle Cardoza95 on Instagram as well, and YouTube. Kyle Cardoza Comics if you're into DC, Marvel, TV shows, movies, etc. On TikTok, on Instagram, and on YouTube. Kyle Cardoza Aesthetics if you're into kind of, how do I say, nostalgia-esque content. POV, you go back to 2005. And it's kind of like nostalgia-esque.
I get that. Yeah.
And that's Kyle Cardoza Aesthetics, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. And then find me on LinkedIn, too. I guess that's easily one of my most important platforms, just Kyle Cardoza, Cardoza.
Wow. Yeah, all his links will be in the description below. Is there anything else that you want to say before we end off here?
Yeah, I mean, well, firstly, I just want to say thank you so much for the invite.
Of course.
This was awesome, and I wish you guys could see this setup. It's a pretty nice setup, so I'm really excited to be here, so appreciate you. And really, I mean, my biggest thing is, whether or not, I got my start in doing law of attraction content. Obviously, before that, I was a news reporter, but really, I got my social media start with law of attraction mindset. And whether you believe in law of attraction or manifestation or prayer or, any of these things, the main point of, just my entire message aura is whatever you think about, whatever thought you have in your mind, if you take consistent action, even small action every single day, consistently through time, it will come into your life, So 100%, whatever dream, thought, goal, aspiration you have, you can always take action towards it. We have the internet. There are so many possibilities towards making your dreams a reality, documenting your process, which could lead to a lot of different opportunities in the future that you may not even know about right now. So just start to take action towards whatever your dreams are, whether that's documenting your process on LinkedIn, making content on TikTok, going to networking events in your most important, career or industries, or reaching out to individuals on LinkedIn. Whatever that goal is, set a plan for it, believe it can happen, keep that thought process in your mind, and just take action consistently over time.
Wow. So yeah, he's dropped a lot of gems this podcast. It might need a second listen. I'm definitely going to go back and listen to get all the gems that he dropped, especially the stuff about TikTok. But yeah, if you guys have made it this far, thank you guys for tuning in. I really appreciate it. As I said, all of his information will be in the description below. Comment down below any questions you have for him. I'll tag him so he can see all the comments and stuff. If not, I'll also just send him the questions that you guys have and make sure that they get answered. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.